You're like on one today. She's feeling silly. You're like loosey goosey today.
Nice. I learned a new word with Gen Alpha.
What is it?
No, I forgot.
Hey, well, for today's episode, that was so skibbity, and I didn't know what to. I think it's cringe that you said skibbity. You know what? Stop being so skibbity toilet.
Hi, is that I learned two. They go back to back. One of them is chopped.
Oh yeah. Chopped means you're ugly.
You chop.
I can't keep up. I need a new dictionary.
There. Fine.
We need a new dictionary. I
We
agree
do
with
need
that,
a new
yeah.
dictionary.
Or we just need to watch more reels.
That's true. Yeah, Gen Z's old nowadays. Millennials are ancient. Whatever. Anywho, what are we talking about today, guys?
What are we talking about today, Marianne?
We're talking about l'amour, love, relation.
So we're going to talk about who you chopped.
Who I chopped? No, it's not. That's not how you say it. Chopped just means they're ugly.
I just lost Aura Point.
If they're chopped, we wish them luck.
Hey friends, I'm Leslie.
Hey guys, I'm Marianne.
And I'm Angie. Together, we are the therapists of Eden Therapy Co., and we are inviting you to have a seat at Eden's table.
Coming to you live from Miami, we believe in healing hearts, shining the light, and bridging the gap in mental health.
Come sit with us as we learn, laugh, and explore how faith and mental health collide.
We're talking about a topic that is near and dear to my heart because I love the umbrella of relationships. It's what most of my study has gone towards because I'm fascinated by the way people connect to each other, whether that means family, friends, romantically. So I'm excited to jump right in.
Let's talk about relationships.
Where do we start?
I think you started with Kimba. How much more Miami could we? Brother. Actually, you know what I was thinking about today when we're talking about relationships? I was thinking about the stuff Miami girls say, the video.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
The girl is like on her bed and she's like, I go deep on the Miami Power Hour.
For those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, you actually were able to request songs for your lover on the radio before iTunes, before Apple Music. We listened to the radio.
Yes, we did.
And if you were in love, then you would dedicate songs to your lover.
And now ChatGPT creates songs for you to dedicate to your lover.
Are you serious? How do you know that?
How many love songs have you made for Nico?
That's for him to know.
Him and ChatGPT. But Marianne,
Yes.
you have goals now
I have goals.
for your boyfriend.
Oh my
He
god.
better be making love songs for you.
Yes.
It's easy.
It's easy. Now we know what Leslie is doing for her husband. Can kick it off there. What makes relationships work? Going on ChatGPT and writing them a love song. Having the bot write them a love song. And then lying to them and saying,
I'm so creative, babe. I wrote this just for you. Me and Chat.
sickest song you've ever heard. Your husband's out there thinking, my girl's talented.
Guys, what area of relationships are we going to talk about first?
I mean, we've been focusing recently on attachment, and we've been talking a lot about that in our meetings and just in general. I think in our sessions, it's been a big theme.
But like, why would we want to talk about attachment when we're talking about relationships?
What I have seen, and even just like in my personal experience, I think the way that we learn to attach when we're younger to our parents, because they are our first form of attachment, shows up in the way that we attach romantically and with our friendships and with our colleagues and in every aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I think one of the things, Marianne, that you and I were talking about is how different people can also bring out different attachment styles in us. But I agree, Leslie, a lot of our relationships are based on the attachment we had with our primary caregivers, meaning our parents.
For most, your parents, yeah. And that's to say during the time of infancy. So think like when you're born, whoever was taking care of you, whether that be your biological parents or your caretakers.
Great. So what you're saying is that something that I don't even remember is affecting my relationships today.
Yes.
Actually,
It is.
So not fair.
It really isn't fair. You don't get to choose the cards that you're dealt with, but you get to learn more about them today and learn what to do with what you've got. Attachment styles aren't permanent. People can bring different ones out of you, and you can shift through them. For context, there are 4 attachment styles. We've got the secure attachment, the anxious attachment, the avoidant attachment, and the mix of avoidant and anxious. Fun fact, so the majority of the population is securely attached.
They say that in the past, yes, we had more secure, but ever since the new generations, it's actually gotten worse.
Yo, that's terrifying.
And
Yo. I am so sorry to all the new generation.
okay, so there's 4 attachment styles, right, Marianne?
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about them in depth?
We could break them down for a little bit.
One.
Who wants to kick it off? You want to talk about which one?
I will start with secure attachment. So secure attachment is when you're a child and your needs are met by your parent. Does that mean they have to be perfectly met? No, but they're met. You develop trust. There's an emotional closeness. There's a positive view of relationships, and your emotions are regulated. You can tell if something is off with somebody else, and you're just securely attached. Obviously, people see it as like the best form, but I would just say it is just a style of attachment.
Yeah, these people give and receive love freely. They're not worrying about whether you love them, whether you're going to leave them. They just give love, receive love. They're secure in they're healthy, secure in their attachment.
Well, they never had to worry that a parent wasn't going to be there. They never had to worry that something was amiss. They knew that there was this solid foundation at home that was fine.
Yeah. Now, for the rest of the attachment styles, that wasn't the case. So we've got anxious. And anxious is they got their needs met, but not frequently enough for them to anticipate or know that they were going to get met.
Really marked by a fear of abandonment. So they think that the other person is constantly going to leave. So sometimes we can see perfectionism in the style because you just want to do what's right to keep the person there. And they're really emotionally sensitive.
These are the people known that are like needy, and they need you to constantly reassure them, like, everything's okay, I love you, we're good. I wouldn't know that through personal experience, of course. It's a joke for those. The other one is avoidant attachment. And these people,
they make me laugh.
they make you laugh.
They make the runners. These are then like, wait, you're getting close to me? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Marianne, you brought up that they can be highly independent.
Yeah.
So people think that they're just so great because they're so independent and they're really big achievers, but really it's masking a wall that anytime they get really close or there's a possibility of closeness with somebody, they're like, and they're like,
they retract. So they view relationships as something coming against their freedom. So they view emotional vulnerability as just not safe. They don't know how to do that. Anxious attachment styles and avoidance, they're kind of like magnets with each other. So they tend to find each other a lot because they ring their internal alarm system. They're like, one's like, I need so much love and I need you to reassure me and just lean in and be emotionally connected to me. And the other one's like, no. Yes. But those are the people that they usually will pull away when you try to get close.
Yeah.
And then when you pull away, they want to get close. Yeah. They're tricky. They're fun. They're a fun attachment style.
Yes. And then it's the disorganized or ambivalent attachment, which is my fave because it's the mix of anxious and avoidant. So these are like a push and pull form of attachment, right? Because they desperately want to get their needs met, but they're so afraid of rejection and abandonment or to be met with resistance in getting their needs met that they won't actually lean in to get their needs met. So I feel the most empathetic towards them because I feel like they're stuck in the middle of like, I really want these needs met. I really need it. And I can't get myself to be vulnerable enough to achieve it.
Yeah.
This is why sometimes when there's an ambivalent form, you feel like there's this push and pull consistently. Like you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. It feels like you're kind of like on a seesaw and you're going up and down when you're in relationship with them.
Yeah. So now, ideally, securely attached individuals have the capacity to meet the needs of somebody who is anxiously attached. They have the capacity to reassure the person and not hold it against them. They can happily be there for the person so they can meet their needs. When it comes to the avoidant, they could give the person their space. They don't require this kind of reassurance or this need to be really, really close. They have the capacity to give them their space and allow that to happen naturally and gradually and go on that journey with the person. And then with the anxious and ambivalent, well, that one's a little bit more tricky, but they do have the capacity to meet the needs of all of them relatively well.
Yeah, it's just if the person wants to hang in there and
Right.
meet the needs of that person. Because
Sure.
sometimes it's really difficult to be in a relationship with somebody who has a disorganized or an anxious. Imagine 10 years with somebody who constantly needs reassurance that you're okay. Nothing's going to happen. Like, we're okay. We're okay.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning, it's like, yes, the securely attached person can possibly give that to you. But let's talk about how it's important that while we talk about relationship, your own work
Yeah.
becomes like massively important because your partner can't be the one that is carrying everything. You too have to work on yourself.
And I will say, I think that happens over a certain amount of time, but I think once the relationship gets a little bit more settled, the other person also leans into more of a secure attachment because they feel that security from the other person. So their levels go down.
I think we develop secure attachment in childhood because of the 4 S's, being seen, being soothed, being safe, and feeling secure. And even though it's meant for children, I think that translates to us developing as adults, healing our attachment when we are in healthy relationships and secure relationships that meet all those 4 needs.
Correct.
Even if it looks like differently because we're adults. You know, so I think we've said it before, like a relationship is only as healthy as the 2 individuals in it. If one is very healthy and secure attachment, like that gives the space, then the breathing room for the other person to do the healing that it takes to meet them there.
For sure. Absolutely. And the 5 S's are so important. So feeling safe, being seen, feeling secure, and being able to be soothed. Again, it's important for us to know how to do it for ourselves. And it's also important for our partners to be able to do them for us as well. Going back to childhood wounds and being able to heal them, if you weren't seen, if you weren't safe, if you weren't soothed, if you didn't feel secure, being able to develop that within a relationship is definitely going to heal you so that you can move forward with somebody with more confidence of, no, wait a second, this person can meet my needs.
Yeah. Why don't we talk a little bit about that, doing that for ourselves? Let's start with relationship with us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, when we talk about relationships, we definitely want to talk about how do we relate to ourselves.
Yeah. And so what does it look like for you to see yourself, for you to make yourself feel safe, for you to soothe yourself and to make yourself feel secure without putting that on the other person?
And allowing yourself to be seen. Because how hard is it sometimes to take up the space or to be seen or just to be your silly self or to be yourself? And people really struggle with showing up authentically as they are, right?
Yeah.
In that, like a lot of inner child work, which you were talking about, one of the things that I ask some of my clients is, are you looking for a parent or are you looking for a partner?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between looking for a parent or looking for a partner. So if we're looking for a parent, your relationship is not going to be balanced because what you're looking for is somebody to meet all the needs of this child that needed those needs met. And that equals disaster a lot of time because children grow up. And so then you grow up and you're wondering why this person is acting like a parent towards you. And boom, here we are.
Yeah.
Conflict starts, right? And then Marianne loves to see the high conflicts.
I do. I love doing couples therapy. A lot of people don't like it, but I love a challenge like in the room when 2 people just aren't getting along and they're having a really hard time with each other because I love bridging the gap, helping to bridge the gap between 2 individuals.
Yeah.
It's fascinating thing.
And a partner is somebody who's going to come alongside you. There's no unbalance in power. You're both on the same playing field. You both meet each other's needs at the same time. And so sometimes in relationships, especially as we start dating, it's asking, what are you really looking for, right?
Yeah.
I'll never forget, Angie, the day that we were in supervision and I was talking to you about one of my clients that kept on getting into like really unhealthy relationships and having like same characteristics in her partners, and you allowed me to see how she was dating her quote unquote parents. Every partner that she was looking for, she was either dating her mom or she was dating her dad. And it's so interesting to me how we'll do that. We haven't healed from our relational wounds with our parents. We will date, quote unquote, our parents.
Yeah.
So we can work through that.
I love that you brought that up,
Yeah.
Leslie. What I love about it is that I think we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
We date our parents.
Which is terrifying to me.
It's more of a metaphor.
Yeah.
But think about it. If those are the people that we learned about relationship from for at least 18 years and we saw what their relationship was like, if it was great and what you're looking for is maybe the ideal greatness that they had, that's one thing. But when there was dysfunction, and a lot of times there is just because of whatever, you know, then we're looking for that person who's going to fix that dysfunction or repair it, which is why we start dating somebody who is just like our parent.
Yeah. I mean, it's also natural if you grew up with parents and you grab the things that you loved most about them and it's just like you see them in another person. That could be so beautiful. I think the problem lies when you're so used to having this kind of relationship with your family members that now all of a sudden you're trapped in reproducing that in a relationship with another person that has nothing to do with your family.
That's the key. If you're stuck in the cycle of the same relationship over and over and over again, that's a need that you have to look at for yourself or a wound that you had for yourself that you need to heal in order to be able to realize you have the freedom to choose different.
And now you just recreate the same environment or the same relationship from when you were young.
Over and over again.
So we started talking about how different people can bring out different attachment styles in us. So say that we're secure and we start dating somebody who maybe has a disorganized attachment style. What do you think could start coming up for the secure person?
I think that they could start questioning themselves and they can then in turn become a little bit more anxious and start, if they're constantly questioning, constantly like feeling that push and pull, like, okay, do you want to be with me? Do you not want to be with me? Is it something with me? Am I doing something wrong? So then I try to overcompensate. A lot can go wrong.
I would say like fear and even like inadequacy. Imagine if somebody is constantly like asking you for reassurance and you think that you're showing up in the best way possible. Like at some point you're gonna start questioning like, am I doing it?
That's honestly true. Yeah.
And I think that's true for friendships too, right?
Absolutely.
Because even within friendships, some people can like move you off your center and you're like, what is happening here? Why do I feel so weird? And that's, again, a clue. Is it me or is it
Yeah.
And it's hard to differentiate sometimes because we get so close to, we care for other people's emotions so much that I think sometimes it gets blurry.
Yeah. Perfect example. You could show up one way with your friends. You could show up securely attached with your friends. And then with a partner, you could show up really anxious. And then with your family, I don't know, you can show up avoidant.
So I think with your family, you show up how you've always shown up until you realize that you have the freedom not to show up that way.
Yeah.
If they expect you to be a certain way, that's how you're going to show up, especially when the dynamic is full. Like I have a brother and a sister. And when all five of us are together, there's certain dynamics that just, they pop up, you know? And it's really neat when you do your own personal work, again, going back to your relationship with self, to be able to be like, oh, wait a second, I don't have to show up that way. I have the freedom to show up a different way. I'm not the crazy teenager that I used to be. Did I say too much?
It's just so funny because your teenage self is just so different. There's still essence of her like in there.
Fascinating.
But if you're not watching on YouTube, Angie does not have a shaved head. This is a full head of hair. Disclaimer.
I might have been a little punk, but I was also with a lot of flair. So I think it's really important. Leslie, in one of our previous episodes, you talked about healing with God, about how our attachment styles can show up with God.
It manifests in the same way. We project a lot of our relational wounds with God because it is a relationship with God and God is our father. So a lot of those parental wounds show up. You know, we think that God is mad at us and he's going to abandon us, or we think that he's looking down and he's disappointed, or he's far from us and we don't feel him. A lot of that anxiety and avoidance and any form of attachment that we have that we're used to, I think we do project it into our relationship with God. It's through time and knowing God's character and getting to know him, getting to build trust in him that our attachment starts to heal.
I also was thinking about how the cross, right? It's up and it's vertical,
Sideways.
right? So up, our relationship with him. Sideways is our relationship with others. But one of the things that was really interesting that God kind of brought to my mind is that the cross then would represent us and how sometimes it is sacrifice that we have to have in a relationship with somebody,
Yeah.
but also like authenticity, but how the cross itself is a demonstration of our relationship with him and our relationship with others.
Yeah.
And with ourselves.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's beautiful that for a lot of people, God is usually their like first secure attachment.
Mm-hmm. When you have that revelation, when you realize that God is always there, he's constant, he's never changing,
Yeah.
he's always running after you,
Yeah.
and that really becomes your truth,
Mhm.
then it starts to allow you to repair a lot of the
Mhm.
attachment wounds that you may have had with a
Mhm.
parent.
No, I love that. Okay, wait. So what do we do? How do we identify what our own attachment style is? And then once we've identified it, what do we do with that? One way, therapy is a great place to explore this.
Yeah.
You know, sit with a professional that has more information on this and talk about what your experience has been. Talk about what your attachment style could potentially be and why you may think that and where that's come from. Just do a lot of exploring there with another person.
I also think that you can always read books and podcasts,
Yeah.
and there's so many resources on not just attachment, but also on relationships, be it friendships, mother-daughter relationships, father relationships, all sorts of relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. One way that has helped me has been just getting to know God more, whether that's through sermons, whether that's reading the word, whether that's reading books about who he is and his character and how he sees me in my relationship with him. One book that I feel really set me free was Seeing God as a Perfect Father by Giglio. I think it's Louis Giglio. And it was fascinating because it has a workbook that comes with it that you start to process relational wounds with God.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
For me, there was one called Experiencing the Father's Embrace by Jack Frost.
So good.
And that one was so good. And plot twist, it even had a chapter in there where it was like, now let's talk about your relationship with your mom. And I was like, whoa,
Boom.
here we go.
For one.
That is an entire new podcast.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, and honestly, the biggest game changer for me was the book Attached. That was one of the first resources that my therapist gave me. And that just, opened so much up for me to even start having the conversation and realize so much about myself.
You know, I was also thinking, real life example, how interesting our office always is because we have 3 generations in our office.
Yes, we do.
The youngest, Leslie,
Gen Z.
Marianne,
The millennial.
and me. I don't even know where I fit in. But then I started thinking about, again, even in relationships, it's interesting because we were all in a different season.
Yeah.
So the youngest is
Married.
the next youngest is,
Dating in a relationship.
and I'm dating.
You're
Yeah.
single, but you're dating.
I'm
you're
single,
out
but
there.
I'm dating. I'm out there. Sometimes it might take some time to find the right person, but there's so many people out there.
Yeah.
And I just want to encourage anybody, no matter how old or how young you are, I know love is out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is. And I believe that. And I love this episode.
Me too.
It's great.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
We hope you loved it too.
Well, friends, thank you for tuning in. And remember, freedom is possible.
Join us next time at Eden's Table.
Where you can always sit with us.